You know that feeling? That kind of sinking feeling when you look around, maybe scrolling online or just seeing things at work.
Hmm.
And it just seems like the people who cut corners, the ones who, frankly, don't seem to care about integrity, they're the ones getting ahead.
Oh, absolutely. They seem to be thriving.
Yeah, thriving. While you're trying to do the right thing, play by the rules, and maybe it feels like you're just hitting wall after wall.
That frustration, maybe even feeling like it's unjust, it's such a deeply human thing.
It really is. And what's amazing is this isn't new. Today we're diving into a really old text, Psalm 73. It's written by a guy named Asaph, thousands of years ago, wrestling with this exact same problem.
It's quite incredible. And
Yeah.
Asaph, he's so honest about it. It's this raw journey through envy, doubt, all those feelings you just mentioned.
Right.
And our mission really is to unpack how he moves from that deep questioning to, well, a place of real understanding and renewed trust in God.
And how that can help us today.
Exactly. How this ancient wisdom gives us practical ways to strengthen our own trust, our own relationship with God, especially when life feels, unfair.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Asaph starts in a place that feels maybe a little too familiar. He's really vulnerable. He says, "My feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped."
You can almost picture him saying it, can't you? Shaky.
Totally. And why? He tells us he was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked.
It's that sting, isn't it? Seeing
Yes.
success in people who just don't seem to deserve it by our standards.
Absolutely. And he wasn't just glancing at it, it was really getting to him. He paints this picture of how easy and arrogant they seemed.
How so?
Well, he says they seem to face no bands in their death, which probably isn't just about dying easily, but maybe living without the same kinds of struggles, the suffering that weighs others down.
Like they just glide through?
Kind of. And their strength is firm. They look solid, powerful, healthy, unshakable almost.
So ease and strength.
Yeah.
What else did he see? Oh, there's more. He says they're not in trouble as other men. Neither are they plagued like other men, like they're exempt from everyday hardship.
Wow.
And their pride, he calls it a chain around them. Like they wear their arrogance openly, and violence covereth them as a garment. Like wrongdoing is just part of who they are.
Doesn't sound great.
Not at all. But then they have more than heart could wish, just overflowing with stuff.
They sound awful, but successful.
That's the paradox that tormented him. He says they're corrupt, they speak wickedly concerning oppression, they even set their mouth against the heavens,
Really challenging God.
openly, asking, how doth God know? And is their knowledge in the Most High? It's pure defiance. And yet, despite all this,
Yeah.
they prosper in the world and increase in riches.
You can feel his frustration. It's baffling.
Deeply unsettling for him.
And seeing all this constant unfairness, it pushes him into a real personal crisis. Like, if they
Yeah.
were thriving, what's the point of him trying to live righteously?
Exactly. It's an existential hit.
He actually says, "Verily I have cleansed my heart in vain and washed my hands in innocency."
Such raw honesty.
Yeah, for all the day long have I been plagued and chastened every morning. He's basically saying, I've tried so hard to be good, and all I get is trouble every single day, while those guys get nothing.
It's spiritual exhaustion, questioning everything.
Right, that deep fatigue you feel when reality just doesn't match what you believe should be true.
And it's so important that he doesn't just, stuff it down. He voices it. He brings this struggle into his relationship with God. That's a lesson right there.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting, the turning point. He admits that trying to figure all this out, this injustice, was too painful for me.
It was consuming him, an unbearable weight.
So what changed? What was the moment that shifted everything for him? How did he get past that crushing doubt?
This is the absolute pivot. He says, until I went into the sanctuary of God, then understood I their end.
The sanctuary. So, like, going to church.
Well, yes, but it's more than just the building. For Asaph, the sanctuary was the place where God's presence was felt most strongly. It represents a shift.
A shift in what?
In perspective.
Yeah. Moving from just looking at the world through human eyes, seeing only the surface, the immediate, to entering a space of reflection, of communion with God, getting God's view.
Ah, okay. So not just a different location, but a different viewpoint entirely.
Exactly. And from that perspective, suddenly the true fate of the wicked becomes clear. He realizes, surely thou didst set them in slippery places. Thou castest them down into destruction.
Slippery places.
Yeah, their success, which looked so solid, was actually built on really unstable ground. It was doomed to collapse suddenly.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
So it wasn't permanent?
Not at all.
Yeah.
She says, how are they brought into desolation, as in a moment they are utterly consumed with terrors? It's fleeting, fragile. Their big success, it's as a dream when one awaketh, it vanishes. And ultimately, God despises that kind of fleeting, unjust gain.
So this really shows that appearances can be deceiving. Totally. Temporary prosperity isn't the same as a lasting blessing. And crucially, getting God's perspective changes everything. It clarifies reality, restores hope.
What a turnaround from total despair to this crystal clear understanding.
It's profound.
And with this new clarity, Asaph looks back and says he was foolish and ignorant before. He sees his limited view. And then he makes this powerful declaration of trust, a complete 180.
Yes, and his resolution is all about understanding God's constant presence and his ultimate value. He says, "Nevertheless, I am continually with thee. Thou hast holden me by my right hand."
So God was there all along.
Always, actively holding him, guiding him. And it's not just for now. There's an eternal promise. Thou shalt guide me with thy counsel, and afterward receive me to glory.
That's a huge shift from envying earthly stuff to looking towards eternity with God.
Precisely. His desire completely changes. Whom have I in heaven but thee? And there is none upon earth that I desire besides thee. God becomes everything.
Everything.
He knows his own strengths will fail. My flesh and my heart faileth. That's inevitable. But God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever.
His portion forever. What does that mean exactly?
It means God isn't just like helping him out temporarily. God is his inheritance, his lasting security, the true source of everything he needs eternally.
Wow.
It really underscores that idea. True wealth is God himself. That closeness, that eternal security, it outweighs any temporary riches the world can offer.
So let's bring this home. What does all this mean for us today, right now? How does digging into Psalm 73 actually help strengthen our trust, our relationship with God in our modern lives? Because those feelings Asaph had, they're definitely still around.
Oh, incredibly relevant. Think about, say, your workplace. It's so easy to see colleagues who cut corners, maybe act unethically, and they seem to zoom ahead, get the promotion, the praise.
Or while you're trying to keep your integrity intact.
Exactly, and you feel overlooked.
Yeah.
Psalm 73 reminds us that their success might be built on those slippery places. It's often fragile. But integrity, God's favor, that endures.
So trusting that God sees the bigger picture.
Yes. He
Yes.
values our character, our consistency, even when the world doesn't seem to notice right away. Trusting that our efforts done for him aren't wasted. That strengthens trust.
That's a helpful perspective, especially when it feels like the bad guys are winning sometimes.
For sure.
Yeah.
Or think about society. We see unjust leaders, maybe corporations acting badly, and they seem untouchable. It's troubling.
Deeply.
This psalm reassures us that God does notice injustice. True justice will come, even if it's not on our timetable. Trusting in his ultimate sovereignty, his perfect justice, that brings a certain peace, even when things look bleak.
Okay. And what about personally? Those feelings of doubt, envy.
Yeah, having those feelings like Asaph did, it doesn't mean your faith is weak. Actually, being honest about that struggle, wrestling with it, bringing it straight to God, that can lead to deeper trust.
Really? Being honest about doubt builds trust.
Absolutely. It shows God welcomes our real, messy struggles. He meets us there. He doesn't want pretense. Our relationship gets stronger when it's honest.
That's almost counterintuitive.
It is, but it's how real growth happens. And finally, think about our mental health. If we only focus on what others have, comparing constantly, it just leads to bitterness, right?
Right.
Discontentment.
Yeah, totally.
But shifting focus, like Asaph learned to do, towards gratitude for God's presence, his guidance, his promises, that brings peace, perspective. It strengthens trust because we're anchoring ourselves in God as our true source of contentment, not fleeting comparisons.
So the core message
Is that Psalm 73 gets it. It understands the sting of unfairness. But it teaches that God's presence, his eternal promises, they outweigh any temporary success the wicked might seem to have. Understanding this helps us trust God not just for stuff he gives, but for who he is,
our strength.
our portion, our guide to glory, no matter what the circumstances look like on the surface.
That's quite a journey we've walked through with Asaph in Psalm 73, from that raw envy and doubt, all the way to this profound trust in God's presence and his eternal plan. It really is a timeless guide for navigating those tough times and building a stronger faith.
So, considering Asaph's journey, that contrast between temporary worldly success and the eternal security we find in God, how will you apply this information in your life to deepen your trust and relationship with God this week?